to the Uninhibited, the Mental Health Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Van Leer, licensed professional counselor in Arizona. This is a space to explore healing, emotional truth, and what it means to show up for yourself with compassion, even when it's hard. Quick reminder, this podcast is for educational purposes only. It does not constitute therapy or create a therapeutic relationship. Today's episode is all about boundaries, especially the ones that feel the hardest to set, the ones that come with guilt, the ones that involve people we love, parents, romantic partners, friends. The goal, boundaries that don't burn bridges. What boundaries actually are. Boundaries are limits that protect your emotional space, energy, and nervous system. They aren't punishments, they aren't ultimatums, they're not about control, they are clarity. They're a signal to yourself and others about what's okay and what's not okay in relational world. For many, boundaries are a new language, one we aren't taught. If you grew up in a home where boundaries were shamed, ignored, or punished, setting them now may feel threatening, even dangerous. That discomfort is real, but so is healing on the other side. Boundaries help you to sustain connection without losing yourself. They say, I value this relationship enough to be honest within it. When practiced with consistency and care, boundaries make relationships more authentic, not more distant. Think of boundaries as a gate, not a wall. It lets love in, but keeps depletion out. And that's the kind of life you deserve. One where connection is mutual, not transactional. Once a boundary is set, it's not one and done. Boundaries require maintenance. People may have forgot or test your limits, especially if you allowed those behaviors before. Maintenance sounds like, remember when I said I don't take calls after 8? I need that to be honored. I still care about you. And also, I need to step back from daily updates. Consistency is key. You don't need to over explain or defend, just restate. Boundaries become stronger each time you reinforce them without anger, just calm certainty. Boundaries with parents. Setting boundaries with parents can feel like a betrayal, especially if your identity has been tied to pleasing them or earning approval. You might think, I owe them. They did their best. I should just be grateful. I'm the bad one for needing space. This internal conflict is a trauma echo, often rooted in codependency, enmeshment, or fawn responses. But gratitude and boundaries are not opposites. You can love someone and still advocate for your emotional safety. Some phrases that support boundaries with parents. Please don't comment on my body. I'm working on feeling safe in it. I can't talk every day. I need space to recharge. I'm choosing not to discuss that anymore. It's not helpful for me. If your boundary is dismissed or crossed, follow up with kindness and firmness. When I said I didn't want to talk about that, I meant it. Please respect that. I love our connection, and this boundary helps it stay strong. Sometimes it takes repetition. Be consistent. You're not being difficult. You're teaching others how to engage with the version of you that is healing. Boundaries with romantic partners. Romantic boundaries help define intimacy, safety, and self expression in your relationship. They say, I want to be close, but not at the cost of myself. These might sound like, I need alone time to feel grounded. Please check in with me before making plans that affect both of us. Yelling doesn't work for me. Let's pause and revisit this. A healthy partner will see your boundaries as a tool, not a threat. But even in supportive relationships, boundaries may require reminders. Remember when we talked about checking before inviting guests over? I appreciate your effort. I still need a little more space this week. It's not uncommon to feel like the bad guy for setting boundaries, especially if your partner is used to you always accommodating. But love thrives in clarity, not confusion. If a boundary is crossed, name it again with warmth and truth. Your comfort doesn't have to be sacrificed to keep someone else happy. Both matter. Boundaries make that possible. What guilt really means. Guilt is a nervous system's way of saying, this feels unfamiliar. It doesn't necessarily mean you've done harm. It often means you've broken a pattern. And for people who've learned to survive through fawning or fixing, that's incredibly brave. If you feel guilty after setting a boundary, pause and reflect. Is this guilt based on actual harm or just a new habit? Whose voice is the guilt speaking in? mine or someone else's. You can respond to guilt with compassion. This is hard because it's new, not because it's wrong. I can sit with the discomfort and not abandon myself. And when someone challenges your boundary, it's okay to restate it without apology. I know this might be hard to adjust to, but this is important to me. This isn't about pushing you away, it's about staying connected in a way that feels good to me too. Over time, your guilt softens as your nervous system adapts to a new normal, one where you don't constantly overextend just to be safe or loved. Common boundaries to consider. Let's name some boundaries that can serve your nervous system and emotional health. Time boundaries. So this could look like I'm not available after 7 p.m., or I protect my mornings for myself. I need 24 hours before agreeing to new plans. Some emotional boundary setting might look like I can't hold space for that conversation right now. I need to focus on my own mental health this week. Please talk to a therapist about this. I'm not equipped. An example of physical boundaries looks like I need more personal space right now. I'm not comfortable with hugs today. Some digital boundaries in this new age are I check messages twice a day. Please don't expect instant replies. I'm taking a break from social media. Conversational boundaries. Let's not talk about weight or appearance. I'm not discussing that part of my past anymore. And here's the key. When someone forgets or pushes your boundary, respond gently but clearly. I've mentioned this before. I really need you to honor it. I value our connection, and this is a part of how I stay emotionally safe. Let's close with a few deep breaths. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Journal prompts for this week. Where do I feel resentment, and what boundary might shift that? What boundary would I set if I trusted I wouldn't be punished? How do I want to feel in my relationships, and what's getting in the way? Where in my life do I need to repeat or reinforce a boundary? How can I remind others of my needs without feeling like I'm being too much? You're not responsible for how others react to your limits. You are responsible for expressing them with clarity and care. Boundaries don't end relationships, they refine them. They invite closeness built on truth, and when practiced with love, they become the container where healthy intimacy can thrive. Next week on The Uninhibited, we'll talk about over explaining, why we do it, how it keeps us small, and how to reclaim your right to say less. Until then, breathe, speak gently, stay uninhibited.